Hey, welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real 100%, where we are here to talk about life. We hope you are having a fantastic day. We are so glad you came to join in our conversation today. Let's go ahead and jump in.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real 100%. We're 100% real about life, and we are definitely here to talk about it. Life all the way around from life, marriage, children, job, health, anything there, I'm sure. Whatever comes up in this little head of mine, we'll talk about it, I'm sure. Um, this time around, my mind has been going like 1,000 miles per hour, to be honest, about different topics, but the same topic but different branch outs. I guess if that makes sense. Um. Oh yeah, and I do have a background, so this is not. Y'all should know. Y'all should see that. Um. So yeah. So the first one today is just all of them are based off of have you ever, right? Not the game have you ever done this or that or whatever, not that kind of thing. But this is like one to say, have you ever felt or have you ever done or something like that, pertaining to life. So this one mostly is, have you ever felt like, um, have you ever felt like you were blamed for the life that you have now? Do you feel like the things that happened in your past is pretty much your fault? Have you ever felt like you can't be forgiven by God or even yourself? We're not even going to talk about other people because other people is kind of impossible to be forgiven by, to be honest, because the way the human brain is set up, we remember everything. And it always seems to come up when you're arguing or something like that. This is like never, this is me, okay? Um, but just different things, different little topics. You have a conversation with somebody and they remember better than you do, which is crazy, right? Because you've suppressed it for so long. I don't care if it was days or months or weeks or years or whatever, decades ago, people are going to remember, even though you try your hardest not to remember or you try to forgive yourself and forget. Um, Not necessarily just forget, but you forget to where you know it's there, but it won't happen again, kind of thing. Like lesson learned. So the first question was, is have you ever felt like that your everything that happened in your life was your fault? No, it's not your fault, to be honest. Things do happen. Other people may have made choices to do things to you, for you, around you, or whatever. Um, and then some things are like generational curses, right? Also, but at the same time, I would say as you get older and you start to understand, if you continue in the thing, then yes, it is your fault because you're gonna continue and downhill than where you were before, right? And it doesn't always have to be a bad thing, but just in general for this scenario, it's kind of you know iffy or whatever, depending on how you look at it. But I just wanted you to be encouraged to be honest. Like, your past is your past. As my apostle always says, your past don't have teeth. It may come back and gnaw at you and get on your nerve, but it won't affect you in any way because it's the past, right? And it's up to us to learn from it. It's up to us to grow and to ask God what He wants us to do with it, right? So A lot of you all know my story, of course, and if you don't, just go back and find it somewhere down there. Um, I don't even know how many episodes down, but it's pretty much my story. Um, so the things that I've done and went through as far as, you know, living the LBGT, you know, um, incest, living with, HIV and um, infidelity. What else have I done? I've got drinking, um, suppression, depression, stress, worry, suicidal, all those things came from a source of some kind. Whether it was something again that happened, something that is hard to forgive, some things that just continually happen. Like I said, different conversations that come up, um, and it's hard to let go. A lot other people let go, and they always keeps it on the forefront of your memory because they won't let it go. Um, so yeah, with that topic, have you ever felt like it was your fault? Depending on the situation. Um, it again, like I said, a lot of things may have come through generational curses, and some things may have just come through anger and bitterness. Because me choosing to be homeless, me choosing to live an alternate lifestyle, came from me being bitter, came from me not willing to forgive. Um, but at the same time, it came from someone else's empty bank, I would say, because they didn't have the answers. A lot of things that they went through back then, the generation before me or us or whatever, before then or whatever, I don't know how many generations, maybe I think it's just one, maybe two generations before that. But a lot of times they sweep a lot of things under the rug. Whatever stayed in the house was in the house, whether it was good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. You know, and if it left the house, then you were already grown or whatever. It don't matter. Um, but a lot of the parentings or a lot of the learning how to communicate and be made whole kind of thing. Um, they didn't know how to do none of that stuff, right? So, but that's not their fault because that's what they was taught, and it kind of just affected the generation after that for for that. So, anyways, like I said, you know, after a while, after I guess 2 years of it or whatever, I was kind of over the situation. The conversation was had, even though I'll never know the truth of it all. Um, and learn just to be like, just let it go kind of thing, because I'll never get the answer from anybody. So even after that, I just continued to, I chose to stay in the situation that I was in. I chose to stay in the lifestyle that I was in, even after I knew it was wrong and after I knew I was over the situation, right? So then the year after two and on up, I'm not even gonna count the years because it's a long time. Um, then that's my fault. That was me being rebellious. That was me just doing. And even before that, um, due to others blaming me for different things I didn't do because somebody else said that I did. Um, and out of bitterness, out of anger, I did a lot of things that I wasn't wanting to do or desired to do. I just did it out of bitterness. That's when I went into, prostitution. Um, Trying to fill a void that was unfillable, I would say, because black hole is just forever sucking up stuff. So that's exactly what it was. Um, that was based off of hurt and bitterness, right? But after a year or whatever after that, I was kind of over it in a sense. But I continued in the lifestyle. That will be my fault. Um, but because I knew better, right? I knew the choices that I was making. I knew what I was doing pretty much. But at the same time, I was still bitter and I was still hurt because why? You know, why do people just do what they do? Why do people intentionally hurt you for no reason? Um, but I don't know. But yeah, a lot of things that happened in your past, don't allow it to affect your life now, where you are now. Use it for God's glory, first of all, because your story is going to help somebody else. And definitely, God is going to get the glory out of it all. You may be still hurting. You may still feel a sting of some of the situations, because I do every day. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's fully, completely healed all the time because we're human. We're flesh. We remember things. You know, I don't know. Just it's just human, right? But with God, of course, we can do all things, right? But by ourselves, no. And it's again by choice. But I want to encourage you today and just let you know again, your past is your past. If something bad happened to you, that was out of your control, it's not your fault. You wonder why things happen to you. Why do these people do this to you? What were they thinking? Like, did they even care? Or, why did God let something like this happen? And I forgot what movie I was watching, but or was it even a crime show? I don't know what it was, but somebody asked, why does it happen? Why did this happen to me? And you know, God was in the person's ear saying, stop, don't do this or whatever. But the enemy was it just overtook everything. So, you know, she just had to just suffer it, continuously. But at the same time, she used it, her hurt, her bitterness, her anger, and everything after her being healed and made whole in a sense, she was able to share her story. So me saying that is all of that, use it to help somebody else. Use it to build the kingdom of God because you never know what the person next door is going through. You never know um, what the person next to you is going through, right? You never know. So share your story, and again, don't let your past just ruin you or stunt your growth. Again, ask God what He wants you to do with it. For me, like I told y'all, my one of my baby sister's husband is just like when I tell you he read my life, and he was just like, "There's so many people that you're supposed to reach with your story," and I'm like, I knew that in a sense. I just had to literally go and just face it, face the issues and immediately give it to God. I didn't want to harp on it because it hurt so bad. But I immediately gave it to God and I immediately had to forgive whomever, whenever, however, you know, who, whatever, who, what, where, how, all those questions. I had to give it to God immediately because if I was to wallow in it, it wouldn't have did me no justice. I cried, I screamed, I shouted, I fussed at God, I did all those things. Um, but now I feel like I'm in a point where I can just really be like, okay, it's about that time. I don't have 36 years to give away again. But I don't want you to give away those years as well. So let's do this together. Let's walk it out. Whatever your story is, your story might not be my story. It might be more intense than mine. I don't know. And I haven't really just shared the full story of it all. Even in the book, I didn't really share a whole lot. I just shared situations, but in here, I didn't share a whole lot of things. But when God, when I obey God, because I can't say when God is ready, because God probably been ready for sure. But when I fully release my life to God, and I'm saying when I say I say everybody that's connected to me and through me and around me. When we fully release our lives to God, we can conquer the world with Him, you know, leading us and guiding us in it all. There's a lot of things that are going on in the world that if we helped one another or help someone get their voice, and to point them back to God and then allow God to use them just like He processed us, it just takes one person. I think one of the scriptures in the Bible where it says, one chases 1,000, two chases 10,000 of flight. If you put that in Bible math, two two people for 10,000, that's crazy. But the internet goes a long way. you know, uh, um, Books go a long way. Just you know, you have a conference or something like that. People from all around the world. Just in general, how many people you can affect by your story. So again, what happened to you is not your fault. But then if you continued in it, let's take responsibility of what we've done, what we've said, thought, and done. Well, let's give it to God and let Him know, like, hey, Lord, forgive me. Show me. Cleanse me. From from everything. And if there's an ounce of unforgiveness in my heart of any kind or any bitterness from the situation that happened, then show me and then help me to forgive. Even if I've never seen the person again, just help me forgive and let go. Forgive, let go, and let God. And then utilize that same strength that you released it with and go share and help somebody else in the situation. So your past is going to help you. Your past, your pain is going to push you. Um, my apostle has like a bunch of analogies that I could probably think of at this point, but um, your passion pulls you, and your pain becomes your passion, all those things. Let it be, just let it be. Uh, and I'm not going to tell you something I'm not doing. I'm not. Because I have a lot of have you ever's that we're going to just chit chat about. And we're going to go. We're going to keep going. I don't know what's next. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to, trust God in it all and just keep going, and keep going. So, again, be encouraged. Um, Tonight, just go and ask God what He wants you to do with your story, who He wants you to reach, who He wants you to talk to, who He wants you to call to forgive or to apologize, because we're not always the victim. We do some things too, we the predator, we the prey, we on both sides, So if you've done anything that affected somebody else, if they're still living and you still have contact with them, you might want to make a phone call and be like, hey, you might not remember this or whatever. Because you know what? The crazy part, I did do that. I did it with a couple of people that are very, very near and dear to me. And I did that. And the crazy part, they were thinking about the same thing when I called. And that was nobody but God. Because I'm like, this situation happened, can I say, definitely before Christ. definitely before kids, you know, all of that, a lot of things happened. But the crazy part, like I said, they were thinking about the same thing. And we're able to forgive, you know. So yeah, it's not easy. It's not always easy. Not always, always fun. It's not gonna feel good at all. But know that healing is there. God is ready. God is already ready to heal us all from everything that has happened, and to use that healing and that strength to help somebody else again. Like I said, that same energy that we had to hold it in and to be angry and bitter and all those negative things, that same energy that we had, we can switch it over to the positive and to help other people. Right. And that's what we're here for. So with that being said, like I said, there's another have you ever that I will do probably tomorrow, or I'll probably record it tonight and pre-post it because I got a bad habit of getting busy and then forget. Um, or I just have like a bunch of surroundings and don't have time, quiet time to really just post. But I have another have you ever that we will definitely talk about. It's definitely been weighing on my spirit for sure. But and then also what else is to come? I just finished another encounter book. Um, the draft it will be here for me on Wednesday to look over it and see if it's right, and then I can edit it. Um, and then tonight, when I finish this, I'm gonna finish the third encounter. So when you read the encounter books, and they have their own title, I'm not gonna give all the titles out. These are just stories that are on the top of my head. Um, because when I do get the writer's hand or typing or whatever, I just start to type. All of them go together. You can't read one without the other. It is a story of a young lady, well, starting with a young girl, of course, and her life as she grows up. And then she has multiple encounters with God, with different scenarios that she's been through. Um, but it's just, something creative that I've done. I've also been prophesied to many times by multiple people that there's a book in me that hasn't even been tapped into yet. So I'm just waiting. Well, I'm not gonna say waiting on God because I can't keep saying that because He's waiting on me um, to be completely mind. I'm not gonna say mindless. What I'm gonna say, free in mind, because the way my brain is set up, it's always thinking of something. So yeah, that book will be coming when I surrender to God. Um, and um, anything else that's coming up? Oh, my TikTok, Instagram. I can't remember what I did. My niece has opened up her beauty line, and I'll go ahead and advertise it here too. It's called Skin Auntie. I know I got that background is crazy, but it's called Skin Auntie. It's a moisturizer, it's a cleanser, and it's a toner. Go and support it. It's just called the Skin Auntie, the Skin Auntie. Think you can find her on social media, and then um, I'll get that more information on it as well. But it is orderable. You can order it or whatever, but it's called the Skin Auntie. So y'all go and support that. Anyways, I think I've been rambling on enough. Again, be encouraged. Please, please be encouraged. When I say I say we, and I do mean it. Every time I pray for you. I I go before God and I cry, scream, I holler, or whatever. And I be like, Lord, help us all, because we all need help. We all need deliverance. We all need healing. We all gotta surrender to Him because I don't think we have a whole lot. Matter of fact, I know, and I think I don't ever know. Matter of fact, let me take that back. I don't know. But in a sense, we know biblically that we don't have a whole lot of time left. Like nobody knows the time and the hour that the Lord is coming. He don't even know. So we just got to be ready, right? We all don't have 36 years. I'm saying 36 because I'm 36. I don't have 36 years to give away like again. But just know this year is going to be the year of His manifestation in our lives. I'm I am a firm believer that is going to happen for us all. I'm not in this by myself. I know it's somebody out there that is dealing with a whole lot of stuff, you know, as far as just life. You know, life has been beating you down, and you don't know how to handle it. You don't know who to turn to. You know, you don't have very many friends. Um, you don't have a lot of relatives or whatever that you can just really be you with, you know. Um, and the only person that really can just hear and help you is God. And I know even at times personally when I can't hear God like that, you know, I'm learning. I can hear him through his word because he's always speaking. But it's like, Lord, you know, but continue to trust God because he is there. He is answering prayer. I'm telling you, man, man, God is answering prayers. Let me tell you. Because that one time, again, I was good, and a complete stranger came and read my story from just looking at my face. So I know God is real. And I know He's real to you. So I'm going to ask God to reveal Himself to you and to let you know what you are to do with your story. And if you have to go back in and to ask someone to forgive you, or, you know, you forgive yourself, or just let the situation be and just use it for God, of course, then however He shows you, I'll pray that God opens your heart, your mind, your spirit, so that you'll know exactly what to do. And I'm praying that for myself as well. Like I said, when I pray for me, there's so many of you that are just connected to that prayer. I may not ever see you, may never speak to you, but know that I am praying for you. Everybody who's affected by HIV, everybody who's affected by incest and alcoholism and bitterness and suicidal and LBGT, you know, infidelity, all those things, plus more. Just know that I'm praying for you, and we're gonna get through this together, right? All right, so I am going to go ahead and end this video. Again, as I always end, come to God, because it's time. It's way past time. And I'm going to tell you something that I'm not going to tell you something that I'm not doing. And I also can tell you that it's the best decision that you'll ever make in your entire life, truly. And I hope that you have a fantastic day. Enjoy your Saturday night. And I'll come back and talk to y'all later. Bye.
We hope that you enjoyed this conversation. Remember to come to God. It's time. This will be the best decision you will make in your life. Also remember that I am not you, you are not me, but we can be real together. Come back and join in our conversation next week.